to the Interjections podcast. We've subtitled this whole series The Undiscovered Decade because we realized about halfway through the first year of what we're doing that we liked discovering hidden gems that had been buried back in the 1990s. So this month, December 1990, we found one that we feel has gotten a little underrated over the last 30 years, though at the time it actually did quite well. I was surprised how well it did, in fact. But we also like to highlight certain actors. And so this month we're looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. So that pretty much tells you the entire synopsis, the title. He's a cop who has to go undercover in kindergarten. And who worse to do it but Arnold Schwarzenegger? They keep pointing out like there are no male kindergarten teachers, but even then,
it was a different era.
Yeah. So I don't think I had a male kindergarten teacher, but like
I've seen
had
them when
male
I was a kid.
Elementary school teachers, you know.
They totally exist.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of funny because it's
one that looked like an Austrian bodybuilder. That's for sure.
Right. I know you pointed this out to me before, Corey, but like half his movies are always like, so where are you from? Just to get rid of the accent, even though he's a San Francisco cop, or like.
The thing is, they don't even drop. They drop the pretense in this, and he talks about Austria.
Yeah. He says he's from there. So
even the woman that's his partner starts to use an Austrian accent. Actually, does a pretty good job.
Yeah, I liked her.
Pamela Reed.
Yeah.
Well, the setup for this is the partner was actually supposed to be the one that was the teacher going undercover. He was just
it's almost like trial and error in a way.
Right, but then she gets like some sort of terrible food poisoning or something, and so he has to take over.
Which it naturally seems fine. Like he was just her backup, but
I mean, it's a typical comedic scenario. Like, our roles were flipped.
It was great.
I gotta say, at the beginning of this,
our gender roles were flipped.
That's true. At the beginning of this, Arnold's never looked cooler. He looks kind of cyberpunk with those sunglasses.
Yeah.
5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, when you first see him, he's like doing the typical like Arnold Schwarzenegger badass role.
Right.
Knowing going into the movie, if you like back in the 90s, like it's a kindergarten cop, it's supposed to be a comedy, blah blah blah, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But like you like when you initially see Schwarzenegger, like he's typical Schwarzenegger for like that era, like because like big beefy badass dude with those sunglasses, trench coat, shotgun.
He goes on the pump action shotgun raid at a drug den.
And then,
I do love that it's set in a mall.
Yeah.
And like the most 1990s.
When we get introduced to him, how many one-liners did he like drop in like 5 minutes?
At least 5.
Yeah,
like, enough to make a soundboard.
Yeah.
I'm the party pooper.
But it was.
I don't even need the soundboard.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Grab a I was gonna say, but anyway, continue.
Sorry, we're distracting you so much.
It's okay. I'm trying to find my background image too. So
it's funny nowadays. I feel like with this kind of premise, they would have toned down the violence a lot.
Yeah,
probably.
But the bookends are extremely violent.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. How it would have been different if it was done today. It would have been more hokey.
I mean,
it feels organic.
They probably wouldn't have had guns in the schools.
No.
Yeah, no.
It's the deadliest family comedy I've ever seen.
Yeah. This is something that came up last year because of its 30th anniversary. They tried having a festival in Astoria, Oregon, where it was filmed, and it got canceled because they were like, we don't want to promote guns in schools. It's like, can't we have a disclaimer at least? We'll just do that. But I mean, we're not in Oregon, so we were never going to see it.
Oh my God, that's the best image from the movie.
That kid next to him is actually the important plot point I was going to bring up next. The reason Pamela Reed and Schwarzenegger in Astoria is trying to look for this drug dealer's son, who I wasn't very clear on this. Was he just wanted to get the kid away from the kid's mother?
No, he just wanted the kid back so that way, like he like had a family. Because like the villain.
He has an Oedipal complex.
He's got a weird relationship with his mother.
Yeah,
and like he's like clearly a psychopath. And his ex-wife married him when she was young and naive and didn't know better, and then when she
Yeah.
found out like this is a bad dude, she like took her newborn son,
Down
hightailed
neck.
it, hightailed it, and ran away. And like he's been on the like hunt ever since. He doesn't care about her, but like he wants his son back.
Right.
And like he put out this rumor that she ran off with $3 million of his money,
That's the key. That's what I forgot.
which is why all these crooks and hoodlums all over the country are like, hey, I spotted her here. You want to go check this out? And so that's where the story goes, because like he meets one of these crooks
But
that
throughout
spotted her, and
Bro.
he tells her where she is, and like he kills the guy because he doesn't want to pay him like a finder's fee, pretty much. And I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
By
That
the
guy
way,
was,
Penelope Ann Miller, one of the most, she's got like the most sex appeal I've ever seen for an elementary school teacher. It seems so incongruous with the movie. She's like giving Arnold this come hither look the whole time.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
maybe,
but we're not talking about it.
Like I feel
For the
like
whole-
she's got a thing for like big burly dudes, because like her
Yeah,
ex-husband
Richard
was like
Tyson,
a
yeah.
big burly dude. So like she sees him as like, you're my type.
yeah.
Who, the
He's
dad,
just an even bigger version
Yeah.
of this.
the dad. I'm like, I recognize him from someone, and Tristan pointed out that he was in 3 o'clock high.
Yes.
Yes,
bully
he's,
in Three
Yes, he's the bully. Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer showed us that in cinematography class.
Ridiculous.
So
Oh,
I
but-
knew he was buried deep in my psyche.
And one of the
then,
the
the
other-
one other thing I wanted to bring up about him, which is kind of a tangent, but apparently after this, they tried to mount a Genghis Khan movie starring that guy.
A white guy.
Yeah, like the
I mean, you know,
and not the
it's
best
the
actor.
90s.
I mean, in the tradition of John Wayne, always have
Yeah.
a white dude play.
The
Genghis Khan.
Conqueror. What a great movie.
It
That's
was
true,
the
yeah.
90s.
So it never
Throughout
happened.
Throughout the movie, you also see that guy and his mother like trying to track down the kid, and it's sort of like this more sadistic version of those con artists from Annie.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good.
Like there's these people have absolutely no redeeming qualities, and like he just it's very sociopathic the way that he's just like, mother, we need to go find my boy.
Yeah.
And then when,
they kill a crackhead along the way.
It's like
I was gonna say they steal that
family.
one guy's gift for his kid. He hits him with a door and
Yeah.
takes it home after offering him like 4 times the amount. That
Like
he was back.
$1,000 or something.
like 400, something like
Yeah, what's
that.
with that idiot? He should have just taken that.
Yeah, that's like good money. Like
You don't know how hard it is to find a toy.
That's a
I
man
know
who sticks with his
someone-
guns.
Yeah,
That
I
has-
guess he was looking for a Turbo Man for his kid.
that's later. That's the sequel.
Yeah.
Access denied. Go to 101.
That was not part of the soundboard.
That was not part of something.
So
Now, I know Tristan didn't like this originally when he saw it.
oh boy, well, the whole thing was that one of my Christmas parties, someone, and we couldn't figure out who, Jeff handed me this and insisted that we watch this during the Christmas party.
Tell me you
During-
watched it on VHS again.
Already heavily inebriated, and I
Drunk, very drunk.
did not enjoy it because I was like blacking. So we tried to watch this time around. It was very dark, and about 15-20 minutes in, basically when they're on the plane flying to Astoria, it started to break. It was
Okay.
giving us like the static and everything.
Yeah.
The voices were warping, and we tried to sit through it. It wasn't bad at first, but by the time she starts throwing up, it was getting really, really bad.
Yeah.
So we had to just purchase it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
No, it was funny.
going
'cause-
great.
Yeah, no, it
great.
was funny because like when we were
Perfect.
watching it on the
Well, to
VHS or
watch this
VCR, we weren't sure if it was the tape or the VCR
Yeah.
itself. So like I had
Definitely
to go.
the tape.
Yeah, I had to go digging through my my like box of junk that I've had like stored away, and I found some old like VHS tape from when I had when I was a kid, where I used to like record like stuff because you didn't have like on demand back then, so like I would just like record my favorite story so I could watch them over and over and over again because I was a weirdo and like nothing to do. So like, yeah. So I plug in the tape and it's like it's Toonami from like 2000. No, not 2000. 1999. Right. 1999, 2000. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, 2000. There, because Gundam was on there, Endless Waltz, and I don't know, like the tape when I was playing back, it had that weird wavy. It was finer, but it still had a waviness to it. But then again, it's been sitting in a box for like a long time.
Either way, we figured it out and we bought Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. Shitty warped VHS tapes are my aesthetic.
I don't think I'd ever had a problem with a VHS before, honestly. Like I know we talked about you wearing out your Jurassic Park. I made sure it was in good condition.
Oh no, I never wore it out. I just watched it every day from like age 6.
He told me to wear something out.
I mean, probably my brain because I probably couldn't input more data after watching it so many times.
But I don't think I'd ever had a problem where it was warping that badly. And when we started up the movie again, it was definitely brighter. Like we went back to the face off in the warehouse and you could actually see their faces. We didn't even realize. We thought it was supposed to be shadowy.
Yeah. We thought it was supposed to be like more of a noir. Yeah. But no, it was just we had a really old tape that just didn't hold up.
So we're starting to think the metallic tape inside is starting to erode, you know? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if all these tapes aren't good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like there's magnetic information. So like if it's not properly stored, like it does get damaged. So thank goodness for the digital age.
Yeah. Of which there was a really funny situation in this movie. I forget where it was, but there was definitely like technology they had to use. I think there was a phone booth at one point. Oh, there was she wrote her address and directions on the back of something to get him to come to dinner. That's right.
Before GPS.
And we're just like right.
Yeah, right. You had to do that back then.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm forgetting that we were doing this thing where we're watching movies from the 90s. Like we just like forgot.
Yeah, I love that.
Because like all the other movies that we've seen, like it didn't like
there were phone booths.
Yeah, but like it didn't it didn't really click all that much. Because
Quick Change had some issues because they could have solved a lot of things with a phone. So they wouldn't have had to use the phone booth, you know. Yeah.
But it's just
we know about Arnold with phone booths
of like directions and how to get somewhere.
I saw Commando.
What else is this? Oh, you mentioned I didn't love this. I liked it better this time, but there's still a lot of unconventional things that I think don't.
Unconventional.
Yeah. It's just illogical, but I guess you have to suspend your disbelief for the premise.
Did we talk about
how 6-year-olds are in kindergarten? Yeah. I feel like Oregon's got some remedial
well, the one kid just keeps yelling that boys have penises, girls have vaginas. Like,
that kid
needs a
Well, I mean, his father's a gynecologist, so.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, did we talk about who directed this movie?
Oh, right.
Ivan Reitman of Ghostbusters.
The two Ghostbusters films. What else did he do right before this?
You wrote it all down.
He did Meatballs.
Yeah. Legal Eagles, Twins, which I love.
I think it's the better of the two Arnold movies. Actually, of the three Arnold movies, yes, Twins is better.
Good, at least we agree on that. What was the other one that he did? Oh, Junior. Junior, I've never seen.
Awful.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Apparently, Pamela Reed popped in there as well as.
She plays his ex-wife, or Danny DeVito's ex-wife in Junior.
Okay.
So was this the first of the Arnold is laughing at himself series?
No, Twins. Twins was before this. Predates it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is
unless you want to count Hercules in New York.
Right. Which is a great dynamic because I love that, like, he's in on the joke too. It's not like they just picked him at random.
Right. I think that's why I like Twins better, because he's in incongruous spots in both of these, but I think the balance between him and Danny DeVito is really good. The one thing I
Yes.
will say about this time around, I didn't appreciate Pamela Reed because I think the thing that threw me off, well drunk the first time, was the woman vomiting a lot. Don't love when I hear it. So, you know, I was already in a bad mood by the time they get to Oregon, so I didn't care about the antics of these kids pissing Arnold off. This time around, didn't bother me as much, and I was able to appreciate Pamela Reed because she is, like Danny DeVito, a good foil. Like you said, she picks up her accent really well in the scene where she has to pretend to be his sister.
Yeah.
I think she has good comedic timing. I'm surprised she didn't do a lot more. I know. I know.
I remember
before-
this in Cadillac Man.
Yeah, she's in Bean, which I don't remember her being in.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Wait, the
Uh,
Mr. Bean movie?
She's his
Yeah.
wife.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Another classic.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind rewatching it because I remember loving it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Peter McNichol.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's coming back to me a little bit, but I don't remember her in it. I guess she's
Whistler's
not
mother.
in a lot of it. But she popped up in Parks and Rec as Leslie Knope's mother, so that's what I recognize this time from.
I gotta say, once they get to the kindergarten setting, there are some priceless gems that happen in this movie. And you know what's good about this movie? It's not. It could easily have been scatological. It's not.
I'll give you that. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
It's mostly Arnold's facial reactions, which have become memes now.
Yeah.
Like when he yells "shut up."
Mm-hmm.
My personal favorite is when the kid's eating all the lunches. He's like, "You're eating all the children's lunches? Stop it!" And then just drops them like a sack of dimes.
Yeah. I think when I was drunk, I got real pissed off at that.
That was
But
hilarious.
were you the kid that ate all the other kids' lunches?
No, I was just mad that he dropped a child.
You don't even
That's
like
what makes
kids.
it funny.
You were happy.
We watched
It was
around
the
time
90s,
Michael
who cared?
Jackson dangled his son, so I think
I mean, you know, there's also like, you know, other like stuff like, you know, the famous "it's not a tumor."
yeah. That's a
Oh, that
classic.
kid fascinated with mortality is great.
Yeah, there's so many great one-liners that were perfectly isolated because like it was just you could tell
What were they, Jeff?
well, you know,
You get the soundboard.
Good morning.
I would like to just get to know you.
this one's a
Who is your daddy? What does it do?
Yeah, I didn't remember what that was from, so I did not remember that from the first time.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. Then I'll have them answered immediately.
Oh, speaking of that montage, by the way, you can tell that those kids were probably ad-libbing and unscripted.
Yeah. I read one of the trivia facts. Reitman just loved that girl, Emma.
Oh, she was great.
He was just like, I'll let her do whatever she wants. She's perfect. She stands up, she can stand up. I'm fine with that. And she's Sarah Rose Carr. You might recognize her as the youngest child in the Beethoven movies, which Reitman produced. So she did a little bit more, but she didn't really become an actress after that. But she's great as a kid.
Yeah, she had.
Love when
she had
Arnold
to go
tells her to
rehab
sit
for
down.
her
She's
sugar
like,
addiction.
okay. Her,
yeah.
her line deliveries are great.
Yeah.
I gotta go in the bathroom.
I
What do you think of
also-
Miko Hughes?
Yeah, he's the vagina kid. He ended up in Apollo 13 and there's
Wes
something-
Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
He was also the voice of TJ on Recess.
Yes.
Huh. He's in Mercury Rising with Bruce Willis.
Yeah. He voiced a couple things I saw.
He was like poised to be the precursor to Haley Joel Osment, I felt like.
right. There were a couple kids like Joseph Mazzello was primed to do stuff. Macaulay Culkin lasted because of Home Alone. There we go. That's the one.
Yes. Shut up.
About.
He's always
feel
on the
this.
verge of a conniption, which is great.
I feel this picture at the bottom of my soul.
I will say this: his hair is perfect in this film because it bounces just a little bit when he gets angry.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little shorter all the time. I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's not as flat
Yeah.
at the front. And so I think
Well, at the beginning, his hair looks a lot greasier and gelled back.
yeah,
Yeah, because he's slowly letting go throughout the movie.
sure.
Yes,
It's
He's
he's
like
falling in front of the.
he's
children.
losing his grit.
I will say though, this is like, of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, this is probably one of, if not the most wholesome. Because like,
If you discount
he
the
goes-
bookends,
one of the best parts of the movie was the principal who had
we should talk about Linda Hunt.
yeah, well, like Linda Hunt as the principal throughout the whole time. She and this other person, I guess her secretary or something, are
You
just
can
like,
write down her name.
you know, looking in through the window to see how he's doing, and it's just total chaos at first, and then eventually they're like, you know, he starts to get the kids in order, and then they like him. And then there's one moment where, you know, after she finds out that he's really a cop, she says to him, you know, I don't know what kind of police officer you are, but you're a really good teacher. And I was like, that was one of those moments, because he's like, because obviously he had no intention of doing this at all. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be the undercover one.
Yeah.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Right, exactly.
This goes back to what Tristan was saying about twins. They play with that height differential too as a joke, as a visual joke, but they don't draw attention to it.
There was a funny thing I saw. There were a couple of people listed as who could have played Kimball before this. One of the people was Danny DeVito, probably because of twins. He picked one of the actors from it.
I saw
But
Bill
he
Murray.
He's the same height as all the children. I like the fact that he's too tall. So
I saw Bill Murray was a name that they bandied about.
that would have been fine. I think it might have fit his comedy better, but this
He'd
makes
have been a little more sarcastic.
Yeah, I would have been. I think I would have liked it more, but they had Patrick Swayze as a choice. I feel like it would have been more wholesome than comedic. There was one other. Oh, Jack Nicholson.
That would have been funny.
I feel like he would have came off a little psychopathic.
It would have been
around those kids.
interesting.
That
I
would
want
have
to
been-
see a screen.
Hey
test.
kids, you ever dance with the devil in the pale
Yeah.
moonlight?
I can see if they did like a high school version. Like, it wasn't Kindergarten Cop, but it was like, you know, Jack
It's like
Nicholson,
Dangerous Minds.
Jack
Lean on Me
Nicholson,
with Jack.
like if they did a you know, a play on the Dead Poet Society thing, but it was just Jack Nicholson being angry at kids.
Carpe diem, kids.
Fuck yeah.
Carpe diem. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
You can't handle the truth.
It's like, I gotta go potty.
You ever read
No.
Keats?
No more.
God damn it, I want that
Nothing.
movie now.
Yeah.
Daddy, and what does he do?
Oh man.
Yeah. I did notice one other trivia fact that just popped into my head. You're not allowed to handcuff anyone to a dead body in any district. It doesn't mean California could. So Arnold.
It was
But
Yeah,
couldn't back then.
that was jarringly violent. Like, he got shot point blank in the chest,
Yes.
and there was a big squib that went off. It wasn't like a bloodless shooting.
We could kind of see that. in
Jimmy's
the
a big fan of squibs. But yeah, that was a very brutal way to start the movie. Honestly, if the credits didn't have that little bit of like crayon font, you probably would have thought you were watching a typical Arnold.
like Commando 2 or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can picture everyone in the theater just checking their ticket stubs. Like, am I in this is the kindergarten
The
comedy,
children's
right?
eyes.
Yeah.
This is the one with
Why are we in a drug den?
We had different standards for what makes a family movie back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Arnold shooting at junkies when he's about to go into a kindergarten classroom?
right.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
to your point at the beginning,
Yes.
I like how this
you know-
movie's also like a kind of a finding yourself and true meaning movie at the same time. Like
Mhm.
he didn't know he wanted to be a teacher until he had to become one.
to your
I almost
point
want
at
to
the
see a
beginning-
follow-up where he's actually a teacher.
Yeah. Right. Well,
And he-
there was Kindergarten Cop too, but it wasn't the same.
We'll
I
talk
mean, if
about
it was
that.
kindergarten cop too, it'd
But-
just be kindergarten teacher because he quit being a cop.
Yeah.
and
Right.
being a
Well, that was
teacher.
the thing. Maybe it was just the play on the fact that he was just a terrible cop. You know, he's doing all these illegal things and just
Oh,
pulling out shotguns on street corners and stuff, and he's
walking
like,
with his pistol through the
maybe
wall.
maybe I just need to like tone it down.
It's like
because of Arnold
it's like running
Schwarzenegger.
scared
Yeah,
when they
no,
retire to
stop.
go open up
In
that
this
bar
country.
in
I
Miami.
don't think that's the reason. I
Tone
feel
it
like
down, move to
to
Oregon.
set them right, they need to become
Kindergarten teacher.
kindergarten teachers. Just that.
But
No,
to
this
your
is not our police
credit,
reform.
No, it should be. They should learn to be. The police should learn to be teachers.
right? But to
That way, when
Corey's point
like,
at the
you do a
beginning,
crime, it's like go in the corner and think about what you did.
Yeah.
it would make sense. I mean, but you know, I thought it was funny at the beginning how he you know, you were talking about how he was dressed and everything. It looked like he literally, because he had just finished Total Recall before this, didn't he? Like he was fresh off Total Recall.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
That close.
escaped and just like
Okay.
became a kindergarten teacher, and that's going to be like my. He wasn't actually a cop. He was just.
So wait, so
I think Total Recall came out the
after
month
Total Recall.
before.
So is he still
It was
in Total
June.
Recall?
It was June.
Is this a dream
It's
still?
possible.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the.
Yeah. That's why he's so unsure. of
Kids,
why
get your
he's-
ass to Mars.
This is a simulation. But the
What if every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is just really the same character from Total Recall in a
Everything
different simulation?
after.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be
I
funny.
I tell you
mean-
what, for having wildly disparate tones throughout the movie, I think it navigated them pretty smoothly, which is kind of Ivan Reitman's forte, because obviously he did the best in Ghostbusters, where he went from horror to comedy. But he does the same thing with this, where he takes like a hard-edged actioner and turns it into like a very wholesome comedy
Mhm.
without making it too juvenile. If it had been too juvenile and tipped the balance, I don't think it would have worked as well. But I
Yeah.
think Arnold grounds it enough, and so does Ivan Reitman, so it doesn't feel like you're watching two different movies.
I do want to give credit to Penelope Ann Miller too, because she, like Pamela Reed, they're good foils for him, and they keep it grounded so it's not ridiculous action. There's also the one woman, Jane Brooke, who is the abused wife. She has the one kid. They're trying to figure out for a while which kid actually is supposed to be the one they're targeting. Dominic, they don't
And they're
realize.
profiling dark-haired kids.
Yeah. And so Jane Brooke is this woman whose kid is being hit by his father. She's being hit by the father as well. So Arnold goes and beats him up. There's also another Oscar nominee. We didn't mention that there are two Oscar nominees in this cast, as the villain's mother was nominated back in, where was it, June? It's Carol Baker. She's nominated in 1956 for Baby Doll for Best Actress. It was like her screen debut.
Never saw.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but it was neat to have one Oscar nominee. But then you have Kathy Moriarty as a Red
yes.
Hood. You think she's the mother of the child. She's the one that left. So he kind of like hints like, so why do you live here? That kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what's weird for such a
Great
big
role.
for such a big star and somebody with that kind of marquee value, she just kind of has a walk on, and they do nothing with her.
Definitely a red herring though. Then when I was going through the cast, I'm like, they don't even give her a name. It's Sylvester.
She never even comes back.
She pops in and nods at him at one point. I think at the picnic maybe, or
Yeah.
dropping him off the kid. But by then you know it's Dominic for sure. So, but that's what I was trying to make as a point. Like all these people ground him back in reality and bring him down to like figure out that he actually really wants to be a teacher. He really wanted to be with kids. He realizes because he kind of missed his own son's life.
Ooh, that was
should have.
some reason every time I rewatch this, I always forget that he had a kid.
Yeah,
You know, because I always think it's going to get wrapped up. That you would think in a typical screenplay, it would get wrapped up with the ending would be him going to see his son,
right.
reconnecting with him.
In that school, like it would be conveniently.
Yeah, but
Part
the
of the
kid is
plot.
his son is 13, so he would have been
Right.
middle school.
Right.
It
Well,
wouldn't-
which is why it's good because
Yeah.
then he's not also in the same kindergarten as the target. You know, if it was done today, it would have been too neat. So
Yeah.
it's just part of it. And he confesses stuff to Penelope Ann Miller, who is open to him listening and helps him grow as a person. You know, that's my point.
Yeah,
So-
the even good part is that I love how they kind of go into the fact that kids have no censor. So when he says like, I had a kid, and he's like, "Did you leave your kid parents are always leaving their kids. Dads are always leaving.
Do
Like that
you
one kid's
hate
being
him?
such a prick.
Yeah. Oh, and it's also great that like this small town that he goes to become a an undercover teacher or undercover cop as a teacher. There's like this surprising amount of like singles. Like
Singles.
But the
Single
one
dad
single
in the
mom
world.
is Heidi, the one woman that plays George's fiance in Seinfeld.
Which one? Which one was
She's the
it?
one that dies from licking stamps.
No, I
She's the
know
one
that-
that says, I don't have makeup on.
Oh, that's okay. I
Oh.
recognize her and didn't know why.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that subplot. I know everyone thinks it's awful, but
No, it's great.
that made me actually like Seinfeld. Because I watched most of it.
Susan.
Susan, yeah. So
One of the other.
They could have gone very like after school special with that battered kid subplot.
yeah, it worked out all right. So that I remember being one of the things that I didn't like. I'm like, he should be arrested. He's beating a man in public. And then
Yeah, but he's
Linda
also-
Hunt
Come
says,
on.
we don't do that as a kindergarten teacher, but go right back into your classroom.
So she got a vicarious thrill out of it.
I know.
Yeah.
Also forgetting a very important character. No, not that. God damn it.
Oh,
This is my ferret.
There it is.
This is
Close
my
enough.
Ferret.
There we go.
the ferret.
Oh, the ferret.
I think this is the first time I was aware of ferrets.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Because my friend Brad had a ferret when we were growing up, but Kindergarten Cop predates that.
Yeah. I do like that ferret. There's a part where he's reading a book. Very well trained, does not just scramble. He's just like checking out the desk.
Yeah, meanwhile, real ferrets would go up your pant leg and all that.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
also
Well, they used that because the ferret was the one that, was the final straw. When
I was going to say, actually, he gets in on the action.
Yeah.
yeah,
does.
the ferret's
He
the
stops
real
him
hero
from
of the
being
movie.
killed.
Right.
I was worried he was going to take that ferret and shoot him.
The ferret,
Possum.
Well,
Anchorman.
Like when the ferret was like attacking the villain, like he went to go grab it, and like when he did that, Arnold Schwarzenegger like he shot him, but like you think like
He was this close to shooting that ferret.
yeah, but like when you die, you have that like death grip as you die, like you could have snapped its neck.
Jimmy.
What? I'm sorry, I got a little dark, but
No, but Arnold was
ferret
this
was really
close
lucky.
in his bullet grouping from hitting the ferret.
Could you imagine
Just
like
to the left.
the head
Lines
popped
from
as he
PETA
killed the villain,
alone
like,
would've-
pop, there goes the ferret.
Pop goes the
Oh,
villain.
pop,
Honestly,
I missed it.
not only did the ferret kind of helped him in a way, but it also got him shot.
Yeah.
Is it-
Yeah.
Because right when he hooked onto his neck is when he discharged right into his leg.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
maybe
you
he
know-
was bluffing. He wasn't really going to shoot. The ferret almost got him killed.
It's true.
Well, he's a ferret.
Yeah,
He did the best he can with
ferret-
what knowledge he was able to compute in his little ferret brain. So it was like
Do I bite now?
yeah, it's like, I'm like,
Ferrets
I wasn't
are
aggressive this whole
chaos.
movie, but now I am.
Did the ferret have a name?
I don't remember.
No, it was just
This is my ferret.
This is my ferret.
Oh.
I brought it all the way from California.
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
he
it was
did.
literally just
Like
"This is
he
my
literally
ferret."
he stowed the ferret away in his bag in an airplane
Yeah.
from
sure.
California to Oregon.
Not a good person.
Also, owning a ferret in California is illegal anyway, apparently.
Yeah.
Probably,
For domestic-
Not in
the-
Oregon, which is why he moves there.
Oh yeah, that's the
I've
hidden.
been looking for a place to settle down with my ferret. I can't.
Because
do it.
ferrets are liquid chaos.
This stage is perfect for me and my ferret, my new lover, my new boy.
God.
Forget my old life.
Why am I even
I'm
playing
a
with the
geek now.
soundboard? Jimmy could just do it.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Say who's your
Um,
ferret?
Who's your daddy? Also, like, it's perfect that like he's a kindergarten like teacher now because I mean, yeah, sure he's Austrian, but like Austrians speak German and the Germans invented kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's I think why he's perfect for this. Actually, even though I said in the beginning I didn't think
wait,
so when
and-
I first watched it.
and
I
isn't,
think,
like,
I think no.
In Germany, kindergarten's for age 4.
I think they're younger.
Yeah, so like
he was-
Germany's age 4.
He was really bothered by one of
Yeah.
the kids saying he was 6.
No, I was bothered by everybody saying the kindergartners were 6. I'm like, I was 5 when I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were 5.
I
I'm
was
pretty
5.
sure you guys were 5. How is it like he's got a whole classroom full of 6-year-olds? Like,
That
because
kid
I don't know,
Dominic
different
like is
I was
Oregon
actually
like
cool.
behind the rest of the country?
I was young for my year
don't
because
know.
I was born in July, so I was always at the end of the year. So I was actually 4 for the entire kindergarten.
I feel
I'll
like
tell
the
you, the kid that plays
screenwriter
Dominic,
didn't
though,
know.
yeah, you're 5.
I was 5 because I was 6 in first grade.
I
the
feel
kid
like
that plays Dominic looks like an 8-year-old.
I feel like the screenwriter just threw out a number because he didn't know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like
What was
so
it?
It's
kids
his
are
only
such a-
script.
yeah.
This
On-
guy, what was his name? I wrote it down and tried to remember off the top of my head. But this guy Murray Salem came up with the story, so he probably just had a good idea for like the undercover aspect and everything.
But it's a
And then
trio
the
of
guy
writers.
yeah, the two other names, Herschel Weingrod and Timothy Harris, had worked with Reitman before on Twins and had done Trading Places and Brewster's Millions. So they helped touch up Murray Salem's story, and Murray Salem still helped with the script. So the
Trading
three of
Places
them
is a great
were
movie.
credited. Yeah. So
But-
I don't know who came up with the age, but that's
Yeah, that's just a
On-
weird
on the
thing.
note of
And
the-
it bugged me like a little bit, but like sometimes when I sleep at night, it bugs me a lot of it.
see, this is the logistics I'm talking about.
The age thing though also comes
Not
into
about the child.
play when we talk about you know, the whole reason we're doing this version of the podcast is, you know, we're going through movies that we were too young to see. We are more or less
We were
the
their
same,
age.
we were the
Yeah.
same age as these kids.
I was gonna say we were the target demographic.
You
for
guys
this.
were.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, I mean,
interesting
I'm
that
still
like
4 at this point.
Yeah, I'm 3 at this point.
Yeah.
okay,
whatever.
yeah, I was 3, but like
I probably
I was 5.
4, 3, 2, right?
I probably didn't see this
We're all a
movie-
year
Yeah.
descending.
Yeah, I
so-
probably don't. I think I saw this movie when I was like 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I should have seen it as a kid, but obviously I was a drunk adult.
I'm actually surprised
which might
that
make
I
it
don't
better.
remember being a 6-year-old seeing this going like they're in kindergarten and they're my age.
My first
Like
Arnold
what?
movie was Terminator 2, which tells you more about
Jesus.
than anything.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, that's my first.
That's
Schwarzenegger
next
movie.
year.
which is also my favorite, which we'll get to at the end. But maybe
Yeah.
we'll do a top 3 then.
It was just
Uh,
interesting to see, like, you know, how many of the kids in this movie went on to do other things. Considering a lot of them were locals that they paid $35 a day to be in the
Mhm.
movie, which
Where
is
was Jake
highway
Lloyd?
robbery.
Damn it!
What?
Where was Jake Lloyd?
He's
Right.
too young still.
Wait, they paid the kids $35.
He would've
They
been
paid the
8 by
kids
19.
$35 a day.
Uh,
which is-
okay. First of all, that's really good for a kid because
yeah,
like
for a
yeah.
kid.
when I
that's
was
great,
young,
but-
allowance was $20 a week.
But
Wow.
for
you
a
got
production
Yeah,
directed
'cause I
by
did chores.
paid? Oh, true.
for a production directed by the guy that just did Ghostbusters a few years
Yeah,
earlier.
the biggest comedy of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$35 is just, you know, I'm sure the kids were happy, but the parents.
Oh,
Yeah, no, like they got to like
Well, they're
Okay.
at their own school too, so they,
Yeah,
they
so
were really.
They also child labor laws. They can't
Kids
work
got,
all
like,
day.
so much candy money.
Yeah.
So
But
much
then-
like money for like just
I think
stupid stuff.
the ones that had lines were actually paid because I know that the interiors of the school were still filmed back in LA. So like Odette Usman, who's the Spanish-speaking girl, when he asks who's your daddy, what does he do?
Mhm.
She goes on to be in Cloverfield and a couple other things. She was probably paid more. Miko Hughes was probably paid more, you know?
Yeah, like a
Yeah, they
lot-
were paid
or the
$40.
the ones that actually had names.
Yeah. Dominic obviously is in most of the film.
My daddy's a
Sylvester-
gynecologist.
Right, but like the extra ones.
How much Sylvester?
Apparently
Stallone?
the kid who played Ben Diskin, the kid who played Sylvester, he
Hmm.
went on to do like a bunch of voice acting stuff. And actually
Excellent
most
voice.
recently he plays Gonzo in the new Muppet Babies.
Really?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a new Muppet Babies?
Yeah, it started last
Yeah.
year.
Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
I haven't
What?
watched it. It's
Jimmy,
on,
I'm right there with you. Blew my mind.
it's on Disney Plus, right? I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been morbidly curious, but like I
Oh.
love that show.
Oh
so I
wow!
don't
Like
wanna-
holy crap! The opening
Love Muppet
credits just
Babies.
popped in my head.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
There's
that
a
brought
new-
back memories.
There's a new
like, real quick.
song like that DuckTales reboot. There's a new song. I don't want to break my knowledge of the song. You know.
That's
But-
so weird. That like not. Yeah, not gonna lie. Like this, I'm kind of
Yeah.
My brain just stopped working.
I'm also not sure.
Thinking about
have
it.
you watched it, Jeff, at all? This Muppet Babies thing?
I haven't watched it.
Okay. I hear there are different babies. Like Skeeter isn't in it as much because they kind of sideline Skeeter after.
Screw Skeeter. Nobody likes him.
Skeeter was my favorite.
Also, there are
Explains
two
Glass.
very important kids that we're forgetting about.
Hmm.
Ivan Reitman's kids.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't-
making out in
I
the
don't remember
lounge.
that.
One of them. No, they weren't
Yeah, they're not.
both together making out. One of them played a third grader.
I know. Fair enough.
Wait, what? I was
Catherine-
about to be like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Catherine played one of the third graders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
The one that
but
speaks.
Jason Reitman, you know, his
Oscar nominated
heir apparent was the dorky teenager making out with the girl in the middle of the fire.
He's got a role in Ghostbusters 2, where he tells him, "My dad says you guys are full of crap."
Oh, that's good.
That's amazing.
I remember that.
Anyway, sorry.
I liked Sully. I'm fine with I love Juno.
So
You
there
think
was a
he's-
sequel.
Oh yeah. Go into that.
There was a sequel, Kindergarten Cop 2, which should I grab my copy real quick?
If you
Wait.
want.
Does
Wait,
it show
wait, wait,
people?
wait.
So, because do you guys know who's in it?
I
No.
didn't look up the premise.
I didn't know
Okay.
there was a
Yeah, you
sequel.
see.
There was a sequel?
You should have brought up a background, Jeff.
What for the
Yeah,
second?
Dolph
Who
Lundgren.
who do you think would take the Arnold Schwarzenegger role in a sequel that came out maybe 4 years ago, I believe?
Yeah, it was
Van
16.
Damme.
He's
Oh,
close.
4 years.
He's close.
4 years ago.
Batista?
Yeah.
Holy shit! No, I have no idea.
No, Jeff's close though.
I know. So.
Batista.
Who's closely associated with Van Damme?
See, Seagal,
No.
No, Universal Soldier.
Batista. I don't know.
Dolph Lundgren.
What?
Dolph Lundgren
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and Bill
why?
Bellamy, of course,
What is-
because of course.
Ah,
So
So anyway,
tell us.
I watched this because I do my due diligence for this show. Okay. I watched it. It's terrible, but we knew that going in. There's a few scattered laughs. I actually kind of like they do something with the premise that I think has a lot of potential insofar as it's one of those new age schools that he goes to. And it's very eco-friendly. The kids don't eat gluten.
I thought you were gonna
there-
say glue.
There's
I
at
mean,
one point
they can
he's
still
about to
eat
eat
glue as long as it doesn't have gluten.
he's about to eat a peanut butter sandwich and the kids start freaking out and she's like, "You're not allowed to have tree nuts around them."
God.
They're all about spiritual healing, stuff like that. And he says a few things in the movie that nowadays would get him canceled. Like she said something about not having tree nuts. And he's like, "That's retarded." And he's like, "Oh, you don't say things like that anymore."
It's literally it's like Dolph Lundgren like woke up from a cryo freeze before becoming this cop.
Yeah. Surprisingly, it does have action scenes bookending it, but they're not nearly as violent as they were in the original. The best part of the movie, surprisingly, the chemistry between him and Bill Bellamy, really good. I'd like to see them do something else together.
Is he basically the Pamela Reed of the movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
but he has kids, so at one point he gets a job at the school too, so he can help them.
Okay. So then there's just two undercover cops.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So they made it a buddy cop movie too. So it's Kindergarten Cop
Yes.
plus
Kindergarten Cop 2.
two because
Two kindergarten cops.
Two
Oh.
bad guys.
Yeah, the sequel, it's not nearly the gold standard that the original is. It's exactly what you would expect a movie called Kindergarten Cop to be.
Oh, so what I expected in 2011?
And Dolph doesn't have good chemistry with the kids. In fact, a lot of Most of the kids don't have distinct personalities. And there's a scene where they're being
I mean,
interrogated at
kinda
a.
tough these days.
Yeah.
There's a scene where they're being interrogated at the FBI headquarters, which is kind of like the scene in the original where he asks what their dad does.
Who's
But
your
you
dad?
can tell the kids are all rehearsed and scripted.
Mm.
It's not
Oh, wait.
nearly as funny.
So hold up. So he's a Fed, not a cop.
Yeah, he's an FBI agent.
So it's kindergarten Fed. It's its own movie. It shouldn't.
I
be
know
a
it's a misnomer.
Not even accurate.
Well, that's just misleading.
It's a very underpopulated FBI headquarters too, because when it gets shut down, there's a big shootout. There's maybe 3 other people in there.
They're all at a picnic.
And we're gonna have something to do with the budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are our final thoughts on Kindergarten Cop?
I
Infinitely quotable.
Oh yeah. No, like so many people quote it on a day-to-day basis. Like you kind of forget it came from that movie, but then you sort of don't forget. It's just weird.
It's a whimsical piece of family entertainment.
It's a piece of Americana that will never die.
Yeah.
Good.
no matter how hard we try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will begrudgingly admit that it's fun, but I think I still am not a huge fan of it. It's
It's
There's
mixed
one
up.
curmudgeon on every podcast.
I think this
It's
is the
mixed
first
up.
time I haven't liked a movie in the history of the Undiscovered Decade.
You like Quigley
Yes, I picked
and
Quigley.
Air America?
Air America was fine. This is a little overrated, but I can see why people like it. So it's not being curmudgeonly to admit that you don't love a film like you do almost every time.
It's a classic Shakespearean comedy.
I mean, I love Arnold, so
Taming of the Austrian Shrew.
Oh my
I
God.
can admit this isn't the worst one anymore.
I
I'll do that.
yeah. I mean, I liked it. I remember liking it when I was younger, and I think when we watched it that one fateful night, I'm still like, oh, this is that movie that all these quotes are from. You know, as a film, it's not very consistent, with the ultra violent beginnings and endings, but that also adds to the contrast and how it's just this hilarious, wholesome Arnold sandwich in the middle of it. But it's charming in its own unique way.
How dare you?
I'm just trying to piss Corey off now.
It's definitely.
I like it fine.
It's
I did
fun.
come up with its warmer qualities.
I feel like this movie is the way like it's shot and the tone and like the score, like just everything about it just definitely like it feels like the 90s.
You know who did this score?
So
It's very funny and benign. How dare you?
I didn't put this into the facts, but Maurice Jarre, who did the score and Lawrence of Arabia, he'd won 3 Oscars.
It's such a sitcom-y score, so
Yeah, it's just like pedestrian. It's kind of funny. We keep having like these really good people, like the cinematographer of Dick Tracy was an Oscar winner. I mean, it's
yeah.
we're finding these hidden gems. So sometimes you have the best work on these films, and you don't even realize it.